Welcome back to another One Take Madness. Sorry if you heard the squeak of my pet iguana. I've been told that I've got a couple of petty stories here, and you know I happen to really love some petty stories. So, let's see about that. This story is called I'm Not Authorized to Get Water. Alright, it's from Frost Dragon 57 on June 28th, 2023. Now, before I start, here's a bit of context for the situation. I work in the boat industry as an engine tech and a parts painter. I know, quite a broad range right there. Anyway, the company I work for is quite old, and the building I work for is even older. The heating system is trash, and we really lack anything in the way of air conditioning, and it's boiling outside right now. Earlier today, I'd started overheating really quickly as the temperature rose in the building. I have a medical condition where my body can't regulate temperature well. Same, dude. Meaning I'm at risk of passing out. I was going to get a bottle of water from the fridge to help me cool down when I was stopped by a company's manager. Let's call him Kyle. Screw you, Kyle. For this story. Kyle, where you going? Me. Oh, I was going to go get some water. Kyle. You're supposed to be working right now. You can get water during a coffee break. Me. I don't think you understand. I can actually be in danger right from this heat right now. So could you please get one bottle of water? Kyle. No, you're not authorized to leave your work before the clock strikes. Now shut up and get back to work. Me? Roger that. Keep in mind, this conversation was held in front of my co-workers. Cue malicious compliance. I got back to work, making sure to put in some extra coal, just to make sure I made up for lost time. Basically, I was forcing my body into shock and heat stroke was just around the corner. Fast forward around 30 minutes, I had to tell my co-workers through my strained breath I didn't feel too good, which is actually way worse now as I was working on the deck of one of those boats. Give it maybe 3 meters above the floor. When I made my way towards the ladder to climb down, I only got a very strained oh shit and fell off the back. I was headed straight for the concrete floor below me. Lucky for me, one of my co-workers reacted fast enough and managed to catch me before my head split open on the concrete floor. I woke up in an ambulance around an hour later. The EMTs were checking my vitals and were actually helping me. Good. My boss came up to the door and asked what happened. I told him exactly as I told the guys, and I told him to check with my co-workers if he didn't believe me. Long story boring. He was brought to the hospital for a checkup and made sure I actually didn't suffer any kind of trauma from the fall. A buddy of mine came with me to make sure I got back there safe. A few hours passed and my buddy got a call. He picked it up. It was Kyle. My buddy handed me the phone. I heard Kyle on the other end apologizing for actually almost getting me killed. The short version, he was heavily reprimanded for what he told me. He was put on watch. Didn't lose his position though, so I guess I didn't fully win. But he was liable for the medical compensation of my situation. I did forgive him and just rub it in a bit. Just had to ask him, am I authorized to get water next time? And my buddy just laughed. Edit, I also got OSHA on the line and they're launching an investigation into this, if nothing else. Just made Kyle's week horrible. Screw you, Kyle. As for those who wondered, Kyle's is pretty new. He's basically a bit of a freak. Can I call him that? Whatever. He's rough around the edges and generally doesn't believe people when it comes to their personal health. He's got the kind of, if you can talk, you can work mentality. So in a way, he kind of deserves this. OSHA will have a field day with his actions. Yeah, stuff you, Kyle. Really dislike people who don't believe medical, conditions. You know it's hot in here. What are you doing are you just walking around, Kyle? You're not doing any work like the rest of the lads? Come on, champ. Anyway, there was an update 2 days later. First of all, hello again. I'm the idiot that almost died to prove a point before I continue. No, worth it, mate. To all of you who were concerned about my safety and health, thank you. I never realized how many would care. I'd also like to apologize for literally putting my life on danger to prove a point. It was stupid. My family, the nurses, my girlfriend, and many of you made me realize just how stupid I was. And I was more careful in the future. I'm not out of the hospital after being completely stabilized. Now out of the hospital. And I don't have any major trauma from this ordeal, so don't worry. Anyway, for those of you not in the loop, read previous post as we did. For those who already know, let's get into this. A lot of things happened so far. My aunt, the main nurse assigned to me, and the nurses I knew personally all cussed me out for what I did and told me to make sure I get better health and safety to invade my job for this. My aunt put me in contact with a representative and I had a lengthy chat with said representative, get the ball rolling. An investigation started. Screw you, Kyle. What I didn't expect was that even police had to get involved. I was released from hospital after the day and was told that I could work, but I was entitled to 10-minute breaks after every hour. The temperature rose above 25 indoors, which is basically every hour of the day. Anyway, I clocked in today and was immediately approached by some man and woman in high-vis and hard hats. The woman introduced herself as a representative I'd spoken to on the phone, and she basically asked me back track and explain the detail of what happened. I did, and she wrote everything down. Let me be on my way, after reminding me to abuse my medical paper as much as I felt like. Don't know why, she just said that and walked away. As you should. You're entitled to it, you should use it. You bloody almost fell off a boat and cracked your head, idiot. Sorry, I'll stop waffling. Didn't hear much more than that. The entire company called into a large meeting about personal safety. It was quickly established that I was the cause of safety meeting. Whoops. No, you weren't, mate. It was Kyle. Anyway, we're informed that Kyle had been demoted, the dillweed manager, to a normal worker, and that we would be entitled to 5 minutes break every hour due to the heat. Didn't you just say 10 minutes? No, pipe up. Say something about that too. He also said that due to the heat, the company would be purchasing drink coolers, fans, and would be compensating any workers that had to go home to illness prompted by the heat. Yes. This part shocked me though. Frost is not allowed in any engine bay until winter due to temperatures being close to the sauna. We don't need him to almost die twice to understand his condition is severe. Basically, anywhere the heat rises above 30 degrees, I'm not allowed in for my own safety. As far as situation has come, once again to those who are worried, thank you. Sorry for making you worry about someone like me. Okay, well, I've worked in a shed before, and the second it hits, like 20 outside, you're baked inside. He's probably going to get a full day off every time the temperature hits 25. I'm assuming these are Celsius, not Fahrenheit. It's Fahrenheit. Thanks for the story, Frost Dragon. I appreciate you almost killing yourself for this. And I could not resist reading another petty revenge story. This one's called "Coworker is too busy to do her job, gets a taste of her own medicine, and then some." Oh, let's get petty. Let's get petty. This was by Huge Second 215. March 2023. See if you like a taste of your own medicine, I believe was the original post title. I'm still getting a lot of heat for this, but only because of the escalation that occurred today. See, there's a faculty member, let's call her Lola, who's beyond annoying. What makes her so annoying? Well, she tended to make everybody wait for her. It didn't help that she was the one responsible for supplying us with what needed for our classroom. For example, when you would try to get her to do anything or answer a question, she would always say, "Oh, give me a moment, I'm busy," and never get back to us. Sounds like nothing, right? Well, when you approach her again, Lola responds with the same response. Eventually, you would get so fed up with her waiting for you that you would just figure out the solution on your own, only for her to complain that you should have waited for her. And when you tell her that you got tired of chasing her, Lola would always come with, "I'm so busy, you must be patient with me." It's been going on for a few weeks now, but I mostly ignore her. I'm self-efficient and usually buy my own things. Come on, you shouldn't do that. This was until she got involved in our Starbucks run. Oh, you cannot mess with a coffee run, mate. Every time we planned a Starbucks run, the process was always the same. We post in the group, everyone put down their order, our boss collects and pays. But every time Lola would say, "Wait, I'm so busy," not only to order anything an hour later. Oh, not to order something an hour later. She did this a few more times until I announced that I had enough. My colleagues wanted to know what was going on. I told them I got an idea. So, on Monday, I started taking orders. She did her usual antics. I told her that she's got 10 minutes. She tried to object, saying that she was so busy, but I stood my ground. 10 minutes later, I ordered. 30 minutes later, we got our order. She was fuming. She tried to protest, but I told her that I meant what I said. Then she said I should have waited for her. I just tilted my head and said, African Americans will understand that gesture, in brackets. I think most people understand that. Is that just not like a common thing? Or are you just like, what the hell are you talking about, mate? For a whole week, every time she tried to talk to me, I would just give her a usual response. Oh, I'm busy, give me a moment, and things like that. And I mean, every time. Soon, I got to the point where she refused to talk to me, which was fine again, because I'm self-reliant. Now, here's where the real fun begins. My colleague, on both sides, foreigners and Chinese, started to join with me, started to piss her off even more. Nobody wanted to let up, even after being spoken about. We all just informed him that we're just doing what she's done to us. Then today, the students, mostly high school students, got involved. I don't know if they saw what we did or heard about it. All I know is they started to do it too. Being teenagers, they were relentless. Even when she said hi to them, they gave Lola her usual response. After dealing with this for a week, she finally broke down and cried. I got called into a meeting with my boss. Lola singled me out. He told me what I did on the side of cruel and requested I tried to make amends with her. I refused and countered that she needs to grow up and stop acting like she was more important than she actually is. Right now we're at an impasse, but I have a feeling that I got my point across to Lola. You might have. You might have. And there's an update to entitled people instead of petty revenge this time to March 13, 2023. Well, it looks like she like her medicine. Interesting phrasing. I might just not be able to read today, but who knows? Now, this is a continuation of the story from Petty Revenge that I would have posted the update here, but I figured it would fit in better on this sub. I'll the beginning on story here so you're not lost. Okay. Now for the big meeting. The initial meeting, my boss wanted me to apologize because in his words, what I did leaned on the side of cruelty. I refused and activated a mediation between Lola and I, which just got concluded today. To put it simply, I'm fine, she's gone. In fact, I really didn't have to do much, and everything took about an hour to conclude. Allow me to paraphrase everything. My memory is good, but not Ademic, so I'll focus on the important bits. Oh, there's a cast. Me, Lola, boss. Exciting. For starters, we all sat down and Lola started off by demanding I apologize to her in front of the school for making her cry. Her boss seconded that, and both of them had smiles on their faces. I flat out told them I wasn't going to do that, as I was happy to tell everyone why I was forced to apologize. Lola, you made everybody hate me. Me. I didn't make anybody hate you. What I did was show you what you were doing and how inconvenient it was for everybody. What they did was like the idea and join in. Lola, you still need to apologize. What you did was pretty cruel. I recited a quote from one of the Redditors who commented on my story. If I'm being cruel by doing the behavior, do you think it was also cruel when she was doing it? Because I can tell you it's humiliating being ignored and told to get over it. Lola and boss look at each other with blank faces. That's where my boss chimed in. This is where I get a little nervous because of our last meetings, but he was surprised with me. But he surprised me with his question. My boss, Lola, do you understand what your job entails? Lola, yes. My boss, was it explained clearly? Lola, yes. My boss, then why am I getting receipts of things from our teachers I had to buy when it's your job to get them? Now it's my turn to have a blank face. My boss explained that he found it odd that I refused to apologize in his words. As childish as OP can be, he does have the same sense to admit when he's wrong. Crude but accurate. So, he decided to do some research. He reached out to both foreign and Chinese teachers that were associated with me and gathered information about Lola's antics. My boss took out the folder and showed conversations he had with numerous teachers along with their receipts of what they asked Lola to acquire from them, which she never did. Lola, well, my boss. Let me guess, mimic Lola. I'm so busy. Oh, that was me, not my boss. Lola frowned. So, is everybody going to be mean to me? I can't help. My boss. Lola, what have you done for our teachers? Lola got quiet at that question. However, that didn't stop her from staring daggers at me. Nor did it stop me from smiling. Lola began speaking, but my boss, in Chinese, passionately I might add. After a bit, my boss and Lola looked at me. Lola's boss, can you at least apologize for getting the others involved? Me. I do apologize for that. It was meant to be between Lola and me. No one else was supposed to get involved. Lola gave a triumphant smirk before saying, now can we get back to work? Me, I couldn't help myself. I can get back to work since I actually do my job. Lola's jaw dropped at that comment and looked at my boss. Lola, are all foreigners this rude? Me, some of us even know how to throw shade. They ate some tea. Lola, my boss, Lola, you made my teachers spend their own money on things that you were supposed to get for them. Lola, they should have been patient with me. Lola's boss, that still doesn't excuse how they treated her. Adamantly, this is where I lost patience. I yelled at Lola's boss for the fact whether he was doing it intentionally or due to some obligation to her, or he was just that dense. He was focused on the part. The fact of the matter is that anybody in their right mind can see that Lola is a problem here. She had forced us to buy our own surprise, missed Starbucks, and refused to do anything in a timely fashion. We were focused on me and the fact that we decided to do something to her with the following question. Something I'm missing here. Are you two sleeping together? What the hell, dude? Why? Why was that? Oh, okay. Lola's boss went silent after that. His face went beet red, but I couldn't tell if it was due to anger or shame. Nonetheless, he didn't say another word. Lola, on the other hand, Lola, I didn't do anything wrong. Me, are you kidding me, right? You weren't going to do your job. The conversation went on in circles with Lola using her classic lines over and over again. Eventually, my boss snapped. Enough. I was then excused from the room and told to wait in my office. When I got back, I was given a final verdict. To make a long story short, Lola got fired for basically not doing her job and costing the company money. She tried to justify herself, but my boss made it clear that the teachers shouldn't have to use their own money to buy things that the school should be providing to them. She then tried to ask for a second chance, but neither my boss nor Lola's boss thought that she could be trusted. I mean, if it was just me, maybe, but there were multiple counts of her actions that he gathered. Finally, she tried to demand my job, stating that it was the fair thing to do, but my boss countered with my merit. As crazy as I can be at times, again, fair point, my students love my class and respect the work my colleagues put into it. Something that Lola's boss had to agree with. So Lola is out and I didn't have to defend myself much as I thought I did. However, I had to talk to the high schoolers about what they did and make them apologize. They really didn't want to, but I did have to remind them that A, it didn't concern them, and B, they were still students and disrespected a teacher, which is wrong. Apparently, my boss is going to be the one handling the orders until they hire Lola's replacement. Everybody is pretty ecstatic about her being gone, but I'm indifferent. As I said in a previous post, I've got my own surprise. I just got tired of her antics and was willing to strike back. T-shirts AU says, gotta wonder what Lola was doing to make her busy. Talisa says, got to the part where Ope straight up accused her boss of having an affair with staff and went, yeah, that didn't happen. Alright, lads. I think it's a wrap-up point. Send me some more petty stories or, send me some malicious compliance. You also apparently really like when I talk about cheating stories because I get so bloody mad. I just wish humans were slightly better. Okay, I wish humans were a lot better.